Good evening, everyone. Sorry, it took a little bit. We've been having major internet issues all day today. I'm just now getting to where I can actually get on, so I don't know how long I'll be able to live stream. I'll put it this way, my upload and down on a speed test was 0.05 for upload download. That's how bad it was. It's been like that since 10 o'clock this morning. I wanted to go live, like I said, a lot earlier, but I just couldn't. I mean, as you guys can see the title. What a day. Where shall we begin? I mean, damn. 3 shootings in one day? Oh, we have got all kinds of stuff going on. And of course, you know, the first thing the governor of Virginia wanted to talk about, we need gun control. We need to... I'm like, what? But that's where I actually want to start tonight. I hate people that lie about statistics. So let me play a quick clip. Then we'll discuss this. Turn my volume up just a bit. The links to this is in the, it's courtesy of Washington Free Beacon. It's Terry McAuliffe. We lose 93 million Americans a day to gun violence. A day, mind you. I'm gonna let you hear it from the jackass's own mouth.
Of our citizens. I have long advocated, this is not what today is about, but there are too many guns on the street. We lose 93 million Americans a day to gun violence. I mean, I've long talked about this. Background.
We lose 93 million Americans a day to gun violence. Where the hell is this idiot getting his statistics from? we was losing 93 million Americans a day, there wouldn't be America left. And he's a governor. A Democratic governor of Virginia, mind you. And the first thing he wanted to jump on is gun control. There's too many guns in America. And that we need to restrict guns, get them off the streets. I mean, for real? But now that I've played you that clip, let's venture to my other link here. I think you guys will find this a little bit interesting. You know, if this link actually isn't in there, I'll have to add it. But I'll screen share this one. This is, what is it? gunviolencearchive.org. You know, we all know how statistics are. You don't know if you can really trust them or how accurate they are. But Gun Violence Archive 2017, total number of incidents. This is according to the source. Oops, let me share this with you. Total number of incidents. First, let me read something else, so everybody knows how this site's actually working. Gun violence and crime incidents are collected, validated from 2,000 sources daily. Incidents and their source data are found at the gunviolencearchive.org website. The actual number of deaths and injuries, this is for like the ones and twos. 2, the number of incidents reported and verified. Here's another statistic. 22,000 annual suicides, not including on a daily summary ledger. Numbers of this table reflect a subset of all information collected and will not add to 100% of incidents. Data validated last was today. So, total number of incidents, 27,850. But he said 93 million Americans a day. That's the rhetoric we keep talking about. That's the fear-mongering we keep talking about. That's a politician lying, using a situation for political means and gains by trying to spread fear. Governor, get your facts straight. Number of deaths, 6,892. Number of injuries, 13,517. There's more injuries than deaths. And we're still not getting close to his 93 million statistic. Number of children aged 0 through 11, 301 killed or injured. So they're combining the two. Number of teens aged 12 through 17 killed or injured, 1,442. Now remember, I said the ones were, what were they? Actual numbers of deaths and injuries. The twos are number of incidents reported and verified. So mass shootings, 154. Which is, I think, actually kind of a lot. But I don't know how they're classifying mass shootings. Officer-involved incidents, officers shot or killed, 133. Officers-involved incidents, suspect shot or killed, 957. Home invasions, 1,135. Defensive use, 941. Unintentional shootings, 916. There's still some high numbers, but not 93 million. And I haven't seen anybody correct this idiot yet. But I see CNN, MSN, and all these other news networks, all they've been talking about, and they've aired his clip, and they haven't They're pointing it out there like it's factual. Like 93 million Americans are dying every day to gun violence. I mean, keep it real. His numbers, we wouldn't have an America left by the end of the month. So, but here's the other interesting. Da7 did an awesome article today. Did some actual good research. Now, my friend had sent me the link last week about the silencer bill. Well, the silencer bill is, you know, 'cause you got to get a federal tax, pay a federal tax to get the federal stamp on it, which means you have to have it registered to the feds to get it, and you got to go through mass background checks. You know, not everybody can own a silencer, basically. Well, they're getting ready to change that. Well, lo and behold, right after this incident happened, and actually I'd put the link there. You guys can go watch the video and hear what he had to say. But right afterwards, they pulled the bill. I mean, what the hell? Here's what's going on. It's just my general opinion and view of things. We've got state after state starting to support our constitutional Second Amendment right more and more. Passing laws where everybody can open carry, not having to register. Like in North Carolina, they're doing away with having to register. For people that own pistols, have to register. If you own a pistol in North Carolina, you have to register your pistol. Rifles, cool, you can do whatever you want with. But pistols, different story. Well, that bill's going through the last stages of the House, or whatever. There's, on the verge of being passed. So now we get the senator shot. But, the part that killed me, still bothers me, is the fact that they want to discuss. They had somebody come on saying, the man wasn't evil. He was just sick and tired of the politics. I'm not buying that. Everybody's sick and tired of politics. They don't see people going around mass shooting people. What else we don't see is the fact that if that was the case, he wouldn't have just targeted Republicans. He would have targeted both sides. But no, he went and specifically asked, and this is by their reports, their confirmed reports that they're confirming, that he asked, are you a Republican or a Democrat? And he shot the Republicans. We have this left-right paradigm going on right now that is dividing people. I've talked about this issue before. Now they're going to really start pushing because a senator got shot. They're going to start saying we need tougher gun laws. We need to restrict the Second Amendment. And I wish Independent Press Project, guys, I put a link to his video that he did Monday, live stream that they did Monday. 47 minutes and 45 seconds. He talks about a newsletter he got. He subscribed from one of Ron Paul's newsletters that he got. I talked to one of my friends yesterday about it as well, and he said, yeah. And he explained it a bit more to me about the UN's arm treaty that they're trying to push our president to sign. I briefly discussed it last night in that 2-hour 1 to 3 a.m. stream I did because I couldn't sleep because it was so hot in here. But now they're going to watch. Now they're going to use that and push it to go even farther, because with that bill, that would pretty much will destroy our Second Amendment right. It is the one thing that keeps this country from being invaded by foreign countries. Because why? Almost every American has guns. You know, the governor might have been right. Over 93 million Americans might own guns, but ain't 93 millions being killed a day. He should apologize to his state for giving false facts and lying. In fact, everybody should be calling him up and demanding an apology and and that he publicly retract his statement. But no, he won't do it because he wants our guns. He wants them to take away from us. He used this opportune time when his concerns should have been with the victims, the wounded. Then we had a shooting in California. You know, postal worker goes postal, I guess. UPS worker. I mean, the facts, it was getting to the point the facts were starting to get misconstrued, and I just tuned it out. Then by then, another breaking news of the day, thanks to iCitizen, and Eric M. broke shooting at by the Barclays Center in New York. Got police running, pursuit on foot. I mean, it took me forever to find any information on it. Finally found 911 dispatch for callers' information, talking about requesting, air patrol, police on pursuit on foot of suspect. I haven't heard nothing else about it. But like I said, it's been hard for me to keep up on anything today with the way our internet's been. And I'm still waiting for a phone call from my internet company. They've had me sitting around the house all day doing nothing, waiting for a phone call. But I can't believe the audacity of what is being said. Then, oh man, don't even want to get me started. What's Alex Jones? Fear porn. Civil War in America. His headline for his show today. I mean, that's the stuff we don't need to be talking about. It's bad enough we got politicians saying it. Because what has happened, when you start doing that, you're feeding into their agenda. They want you guys to be feeding, just like they want us to go peacefully protest while they bring in Antifa, Black Lives Matter to cause violence. Or when incident happens like today, multiple incidents, first things out of their mouth, we need gun control. Well, I'll tell you what, I live in a state where we have the castle law, which doesn't only apply into our house and property, but in the vehicle we're in. Those that can conceal carry here in Ohio, even have the right to protect themselves in a public building, as long as that building allows a person to have firearms. Shortly after that law was passed, it actually happened in Toledo, Ohio, at a restaurant. Two guys walk in, tried to hold up the store. Citizen, law-abiding citizen, protected by the Second Amendment rights, protected by the castle law, shot and killed one of them and wounded the other and held the person at gunpoint till the police showed up. And you know what happened to the dude? He went home. Not to jail like it used to be. He went home. So did everybody in that restaurant. Went home safe. You know, and we do see in states that have laws that protect their citizens, that honor the Second Amendment rights, we have less violence. We have less robberies. We have less home invasions, carjackings. But they don't report those statistics. In fact, they do everything to shut you up if you try. You know, like I said, the first thing I heard today was 93 million Americans die every day, and that die every day to guns. And I'm like, whoa, the math don't add up. It can't add up. So, you know, hey, don't got nothing else to do today, except I got to wait by the phone and can't really do anything on the internet to begin with. What little internet apps? Oh, let's do some research. Like I said, I found that site. Who knows how accurate it is? But we're never going to get accurate statistics. They proved that with the elections. They can't even get their own polls right. Everybody's got an opinion on things, and hardly anybody shares the same opinion. You know, and the stuff that's going on Twitter. I mean, I've seen some, wow. You know, guys, I don't care what your political views and opinions are. It don't mean shit. And it shouldn't mean shit. You should not be aligned to one party or the other. You should be about the Constitution, about our laws, and putting the people that will represent us, we the people for the people. And if they don't represent us, then we should be going around our communities, getting as many signatures we can, and demanding that they be removed for ethic violations, for violating the office of trust, violating the Constitution, where they are to be representing us. If they're not representing, they're not doing what they promised to us when we voted for them, that is a violation of that office of trust. Yes, more than likely, nothing's going to happen because it goes through a committee there in Congress. That's, like I said, there's only two ways, let's discuss this last night, to remove somebody. That's the one way, which is the hardest way. The second way only applies to 7 states, which is a recall election. Which, once again, you got to get a bunch of signatures, a bunch of people to demand in that state to recall these senators. I've seen it happen once in the last 5-6 years. It happened in Denver. Denver, Colorado is one of the states, one of the 7 states where you can actually demand a recall election. You know, it's time that, you know, that we start holding our media accountable every time they report fake news, false facts, or start being biased to political agendas from one side or the other. You can look at every news agency. One side's Republican, one side's Democrat, one side's a little bit more independent, libertarian, and it's only those views that they hold to. They won't report nothing else, and when they do, they make sure it's one-sided to fit their agenda. You know, how do you stop that? Stop watching those stuff. Don't turn it on. You know, there's too many people out here that are doing investigative reporting, that's way better than what you'll ever get on TV. You can find them on YouTube. I've gave you two links there. Dabu and Independent Press Project, or iCitizen News, Eric M. they bring you breaking stories, and usually before these major networks even cover them. And they're not afraid to say, hey, when they make a mistake, they publicly correct it. As every individual shouldn't be in, when the New York Times or Washington Post retracts a statement, they just retract it, and they might put it in the very back that they retracted. It should be front page. Me personally, I think it shouldn't just be on the front page. They should have to go in front of the camera and retract the statement. You know, a little bit of humility might serve some of these major news companies right. But, you know, let's look at things. We got, you know, the Kathy Griffin thing, which is kind of old news. That's a good thing. I'd rather see that old news. But yet we find out Delta and a few other corporations have boycotted a Broadway play that's depicting Julius Caesar, but not a modern day theme with, you know, representation of our president and the first lady, because they don't agree with the politics. That is teaching people hate. Something else I've caught the past few times, shit like this has happened. And I heard, you know, I remember a bunch of people complaining about, even I talked about it, you know, with the shit that's happening in the UK and in Paris with their politicians saying this is the norm, basically telling people to get used to it. Well, here's a common phrase that's starting to be said more and more here in the United States: shelter in place. What that means is they don't want citizen journalists out there reporting anything that could be real news. Now they can control you, make you stay in your houses, in your offices of work, slowly stripping you of your constitutional rights. And you guys are falling for it. You're becoming, every time you hear shelter in place, you're thinking that's the norm. That's not the norm. The norm is being free to go where you want, when you want, as you please, to be able to go out there. If you want to report on that story, report on it, as long as you're not impeding the police, the fire department, and EMTs. If you're staying back a distance and reporting on it, that is your right. Your constitutional right. We need to stop letting them try to put these ideologies saying that this is the norm, this is the way it is, because they're brainwashing you and tricking you into something that you shouldn't be doing. They're making you willingly give up your freedoms. Now, my whole thing about this, after hearing what Chico said from Independent Press Project about this UN arms treaty bill, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see. I wish I could get him on. I might talk to him, send him a message on Twitter, see if I can't get him to come on and talk about that. Because like I said, I'm hesitant to play their videos and stuff, because YouTube can be funny and they might not want that. So, like I said, I have had crappy internet today. I wanted to get live, and I just couldn't get to these people to ask permission to air their stuff. That's why I just put the links, told you where to go. That way you guys can go watch these things. I also, like I said, when I finish this, I'll add the link to the archive. That site, I don't like it. Somebody else that's better, is a little bit better at research, has a better internet connection I have right now, might can research that for us and see if how accurate those numbers are. But like I said, 93 million Americans a day, yeah, we wouldn't have an America left after the end of the month with that type of statistics. Fear. This is another form of fear porn to push an agenda to take your Second Amendment rights away. Once they take your Second Amendment rights away, they'll be free to do whatever they want, subjugate you, force you into living a lifestyle where you have no freedoms. Why? Because you can't stand up for our rights. You can't do what our forefathers set in place so no government could get out of control and become a dictatorship in this country. So what happened to our forefathers, why they fought to gain our freedom from Britain and become our own sovereign nation, would never happen on this soil again. Like I was talking about last night with fear, there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. You know, you guys got to be a judge of that. But I'm sorry. The other part that bothered me. During Wolf Blitzer's show, CNN aired an interview with a friend of the Alexandria VA shooter who said he wasn't evil, just upset with politics. Instead of pushing back on that, Wolf Blitzer just accepted it like it's the norm, like it was all about politics. No, it was about an evil man, brainwashed by listening to CNN and all these leftists out there that's preaching hate, calling for civil war. I mean, congressmen should never openly call for such a thing. You know, that's something I try to tell other preppers. Don't say that publicly, openly to a live audience. Mainly because, well, you're preppers and, you know, it's going to put a big bullseye on you. Two, that's what they want. They want civil unrest so they can come take every single thing from us. All of our constitutional rights will be gone. They want us to be slaves to them. No freedoms, to where it's do as you're told or suffer the consequences. You know what stops them from being able to do that? Our Second Amendment right. Our soldiers who will not take an order like that to commit a military action on our soil. Because why? They defend our Constitution. You know, and my suggestion, and that's the part I don't get, I don't see how these stupid governors, senators that want to strip our Second Amendment rights can get elected over and over. I mean, yeah, there's people out there that is against guns. Well, I tell you what, more people die from drugs than they do from guns. That's a statistical fact. They want to quote statistics. You know, if you want to stop gun violence in the cities, well, take all those billions of dollars that you're wasting on rich stuff, put it back into those communities that need it. Upgrade the education system. Bring in jobs. You have less people out on the streets gangbanging, because the reason of gangbanging is to sell dope to support their families, because there's nothing there. They wouldn't be holding up fucking liquor stores or convenience stores or gas stations. They wouldn't be jacking cars to take it to a chop shop. That's why, Chicago, all these cities that want to enforce wants to hold on to their sanctuary cities. Well, they're about to take a huge pay cut in the budget because their federal funding ends, and it should be enforced. You want to do it that way? Fine. We're taking the federal funding from you. You don't get it. And it is kind of odd this happened right after yesterday's debacle of them wanting to talk about Russia investigating. They wanted to hem up Sessions, and it backfired on them. It just made Comey to be out even a bigger liar. Why isn't this man in jail for perjury? If that was you or me, we'd already been locked up on charges of perjury. That's the other thing we need to start forcing. The laws there ain't two standards of laws. The law applies for everybody, no matter what uniform you wear, what position you hold in this country. You're no better than the rest of us, and you should be treated the same. Stop seeing and that's the real issue is. I think the real issue is the fact that so many states are changing the laws and beginning to honor our Second Amendment rights. And it's pissing them off because they're losing that little bit of control and fear tactics that they had over us. We had a sheriff come up and telling the people, you need to arm yourselves to be able to protect your family because there is a threat of ISIS attacking us here. A sheriff, a law officer, came out and openly stated that. But you don't see the mainstream media talking about that. All we see today, them talking about him saying, first thing out of the governor's mouth was 93 million. In fact, let me play that again. I think that deserves another playthrough. Just in case people actually thought I was joking about that. Nope, I wasn't joking. But you know what the funny part is? How many people are actually going to believe what he said?
Information that really erases enough.
Wrong button. By the way, guys, that is Dabu. That's that other link I sent you. Check it out, because this is where he talks about the silencer stuff. I don't have permission to use this, so I'm not going to. Even though I know his stuff's open source, free to be used. I just don't feel like dealing with YouTube over it. Really? But guys, definitely check out that link, because he came up on something that's important. Well, now my YouTube don't want to play. I'm still live, though. Oh, page still loading. Well, apparently my internet issues probably aren't fixed, so. I played it once in the beginning of the stream. That's what I opened with. Let me close this out, see if I can't bring it back up.
Of our citizens. I have long advocated, this is not what today is about, but there are too many guns on the street. We lose 93 million Americans a day to gun violence. I mean, I've long talked about this. Background checks, shutting down gun show loopholes. You know, that's not for today's discussion, but it's not just about politicians. We worry about this.
It's just not about politicians. No, it's about you. It's about him spreading his agenda of fear, threatening to take away our constitutional right to our Second Amendment. They want to abolish it. But when you sit up there and blatantly lie on statistics saying 93 million Americans a day, and it was like to prove him right, we had two other incidents of gun shootings. Like I said, what a day it's been. You know, that was a good catch on Dabu about the silencer bill being removed right after this happened. It's what I keep saying, guys. We got to wake up. You know, people in Virginia, you should be, wow. I'm just now getting the notification that I am alive. And I've been live for 43 minutes now. Guess that explains why I don't have an audience. Of course, doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I've been monitoring chat, waiting for people to come in, because like I said, I plan on popping a link here in a little bit to open up a live call-in. But I guess when you start talking about a senator misleading people, using fear to promote his wanting to ban our Second Amendment rights to take our guns away, I guess you were not allowed to talk about that. You know, that's my thing, guys. I know it's hard for you guys to be able to do research, I know, but, you know, because I know what it's like. I was working all last year and the year before that, and it's like, you don't have time when you get off work to come sit down in front of a computer to do research. There's stuff you got to do around the house. You know, with me though, I live based on my needs. I get my wants when, you know, I have a little extra, and I can afford to have maybe a want or two. But that's the way I've lived for a long time, so it don't bother me. You know, as long as I got my basic needs and necessities taken care of, which is hygiene, food, and if I need any medicine, which I don't, thankfully I'm in perfect health. But I had to work back to get back to perfect health. You know, as you get older, I mean, there for the longest, the most I've ever weighed was 180. I went from 180 to 260 in about 2 years. You know, because metabolism rate dropped. I wasn't watching what I was eating. But here's the funny thing, guys. You know, I'm back down to 170, and it was from just eating healthy, paying attention to what I was eating. I mean, I was still eating. I mean, I was eating steaks, but I was making sure with my steaks I had vegetables, fruits, cut back on the pop and caffeine. I was just paying attention to what I ate, cut a lot of the junk food out. And within 6 months, I went from basically a size 44 back down to a 32 in 6 months, just by eating healthy. Not really exercising. Like, I wasn't really exercising. You know, I was working, yeah. But if you call working as a cook exercise, not really. I mean, yeah, twice a week I put away truck. But, no. But it was good pay for what I was doing. I mean, I'd rather work in AC than any factory, making the same amount of money I made in a factory, so why not? But I also rather be outside working too. I'm more of an outdoors person. See, my philosophy, I'm still kind of this way. It's work. As soon as it starts warming up, it's work until towards the end of fall. Basically, you know, especially when you do construction. Well, basically, when construction slows down, comes to an end, then it's playtime. You play during the winter, because by then, if you're working construction, you're usually working every day, and you're not really having time to spend your money. So you save up your money from the summer, from spring through summer to fall. Which, you know, then you learn to not spend, you know, but you could still do a lot and live on a budget to get you through to spring. That's the way I've lived my life for most of the part. But, you know, this shit today, that's ridiculous. I do agree with some things that have been said today, though. This is what happens when media is out of control. And when I say media, I mean CNN, NBC, ABC, all those fake news organizations that's preaching an ideology that is one-sided based on their politics, which is where their money comes from, is the Democratic or Republican. I mean, all sides do it, and all these media organizations sponsor one side or the other, and it's their rhetoric. But for real, the Democratic Party is out of control. They're not doing their job. They just want to do committee after committee, and that needs to stop. But now you can see the other twist they're going to use. Now, because of what they said on this guy said on to CNN reporter, dude wasn't evil. He was just tired of his politics. And what are they going after that? Well, he went around asking, are you Republican or Democrat? Well, if you're a Democrat, you got to live and walk away. I mean, thankfully no one died that I know of, at least in this incident. But people got shot. Bodyguards got shot. Yeah, and gunmen died. Now, I heard reports. This is something that's kind of troublesome as well. Dabuda caught something great on the silencers. All right, here's something I caught. I was watching Fox 10 out of Arizona, because, you know, sometimes they seem to be a little bit more reliable, and they're usually on every scene that's there. I mean, don't trust them, but they reported, I don't know which incident it was, so they never covered the thing that happened in New York, so I can rule that one out. It was either the thing that happened in Virginia or the thing that happened in San Francisco. Because they both were reported rifle was used, you know, automatic rifle was used, or semi-automatic. Well, basically, it was just rifle was used. But they reported that they were told that it was actually, I don't know, I can't remember what they're called. It was a pistol that you can actually, because, you know, they sell the carbines for the pistols that you can put in. to turn it into a rifle to get you a little bit more distance. They said that's what was used in one of them. Which, yeah, that's kind of, it's just going to be one more thing that they're going to go after. I mean, because some people can't afford to go buy an AR. You know, some people can, you know, afford a cheap Glock or a cheap Smith & Wesson or Ruger, and they make these carbines where you can slide your pistol in and turn it into a carbine pistol. I mean, you're not going to be able to shoot as far as you could with a rifle, but you can shoot a little bit farther. You know, instead of having, you know, close range, you can go out 200 feet. I've seen some where they've been dead on it at 400, but now this is going to be one more thing, because now they can say, well, we can't have Glocks or 9mm, 45s, handguns, because they can be converted into a pistol carbine. Which, you know, that shocked me when they said that, because, you know, it's just like I said, it's one more thing. And we know California has the strict, it had to be in California, because California has the strictest gun laws. You know, AR, yeah, right. You know, but you know, they also reported that dude that did the Virginia thing, he was had cops called out to his house when he was in Illinois living for shooting in town. When they said he was arrested. I can't confirm that, so as far as I'm concerned, that's hearsay, but that's what some of the things that were being reported today. Well, if that's the case, why did he still have his guns? But then again, Illinois. Do we need to say anything else? They rather support sanctuary cities and protect their people. They rather lose their funding, federal funding, which they don't use right anyway, because they're not putting it in the communities that need it. They're not putting it in the education system. But they also have strict gun laws. Well, let's look at that. Their crime rate's so high, but they still say it's all because of guns. But yet they have strict gun laws, just like California, like New York. So, you see the hypocrisy there? It's not, you know, Joe Big said it best today. It's not about the gun. The gun didn't kill nobody. The gun can't have intent. Doesn't have a mind of its own. Doesn't have a will. Well, this is me adding things to what he said. Like he said, quote, unquote, it's not loaded. Slide the clip back in. It's empty. It's nothing more than a paperweight. It's a tool. It can't choose. The only person that can choose is a human being. And his choices has consequences. Can't tell me he didn't know right from wrong. But then again, when you're being brainwashed by Democrats, mainstream media, you know, maybe he was sick and tired of the politics, but his actions did not speak that, because he targeted only one side. His actions spoke of somebody that wasn't tired of politics, somebody that wanted to make a statement and go after somebody that supported something that he was against. That's what his actions stated. What he did was evil. His intentions were evil. His intentions were to take another person's life. The gun had nothing to do with it. The gun didn't make that decision. That gun didn't make that choice. How many millions of people go to ranges every day and shoot? How many hunters go out and hunt every day? Yes, occasionally there's an accident. Occasionally. These people honor, respect their Second Amendment. They honor and respect people's life, but they will defend themselves if somebody tries to break into their home or threaten their family or break into their business or see a place that is being held up by two punks. They will use their constitutional rights. And you know what? States that allow that have less crime. That's a statistic that's been proven in each of these states. Why? It goes back to what I was discussing last night. Fear. A criminal's going to look for a soft target. He's not going to go into some place where he's got a chance to be shot. He's not going to hold up a store or unless he's completely desperate, whacked out on drugs. But yeah, I am getting about sick and tired of hearing the word civil war being thrown around. It's a dangerous word, especially when we live in a country that is so divided. We need to be finding ways to mend those divisions, and that is through our voices with truth, through our actions and deeds. What took place today does not represent we the people. It does not represent what 99% of Americans are. That is 1% of an ideological thinking that they keep trying to push onto others. And that cycle needs to be broken. We need to start holding our media accountable. We need to start holding governors that want to come and say 93 million people die a day. You know what? Show me where you got those statistics from, because anywhere I look doesn't say that. And if they did, guess what? We know you're lying. The math don't add up. There ain't that many people in the United States to be losing 93 million a day. We wouldn't have a country left. And we need to make them retract their statements. Or, come election time, don't put these idiots back in office. Stop following victims to, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or I'm an independent. You are no such thing. Your job is to vote a person in that represents and supports and backs and defends their constitutional rights and Bill of Rights. And when they don't do it, your duty is to make sure they do not get elected the next cycle, or follow the procedures of law and go after them on ethic charges for violating the office of trust. You know, now we as the people should be demanding Congress to put an end to these congressional hearings that they're wasting time with and do their jobs. Get us our health care fixed. Get our tax reform fixed. Do their jobs or don't put them back in. And they know they're losing control. That's why they keep doing what they're doing. They want distractions. They want us divided. Why? The more we're divided, the more they can start stripping more of our freedoms away. And before we know it, we're going to wake up one day. And as much as I hate to say this, because I can't stand the prick right now, because of his fear-mongering, Alex Jones is going to be proven right once again. And he should never be proven right. A man that says if shit ever hit the fan, I'm taking my family moving south, does not represent us. You guys need to wake up to that fact, too. He's not about we the people for the people. He's about, as with this publicity stunt with Megyn Kelly, he's all about, he's a publicity whore. Bottom line. And a hypocrite. Because any common sense would have told you, after what he said about her last year, for her re-editing his video and making him sound like he said something that he never said, there would have been nothing to do with sitting down with an interview with her. In fact, I would be going after her for defamation of character and slander. Oh no, he'd rather use her for publicity stunt. Please. He says he's being censored, his ads or something, but yet I don't see his channel being taken down, restricted, videos taken down on Facebook or YouTube. Unlike a bunch of us in this community, our stuff's always constantly under attack. I'm sorry. And I know it's probably going to piss a bunch of people off, but quit being sheep. Quit following blindly somebody. Yes, he gets some things right from time to time, but he's just as much as the problem as all of our politicians. They keep pushing fear, keep pushing a division. You know, it's good to publicly show what's going on. There's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and he does it wrong. I mean, sometimes I go over the top. Not the right way to do it. I mean, yes, it appeals to some audiences, but I'm also, you know, certain topics like this one, I'm trying to keep myself from going over the top, because the Second Amendment right is something I truly believe in, because I understand. I've studied tactics, military strategies. I've talked to people. You know, they'll flat out tell you the reason this country's never been invaded, because everyone in this country has guns. The reason why our politicians are kept in somewhat check, because there is clauses that allow for us, if the government ever got out of control and we were facing more of a dictatorship, for us to take back our government. That's in our constitutionals. You know, there's a reason why we have militia. I just think the shit that we watch transpire today as we're starting to see from the truther community, the citizen journalists, there was more behind it. Some of it was meant for a distraction. Some of it's to push for tougher gun controls, to strip a little bit more from our Constitution. And I think what Chico was discussing on Independent Press Project, the link's in the description, guys. Go listen to it. Actually, I mean, listen to the whole thing if you can. You know, I gave you the timestamp where he starts. But listen to what he says and think about it. If Trump is refusing to sign this and agree to this arms treaty, UN arms treaty, and we know that Trump's claims to be a supporter of the Second Amendment. He's put a Supreme Court justice in that has the same views on our Second Amendment. There's a reason why he hasn't signed it. And you guys should really look into it. I actually did a little research into it today, but I need the article, the actual newsletter. I haven't got it yet. I've been asking around for it. But I did find something that was talking about the U.S. arms treaty, and that, lo and behold, Snoops dubbed it as fake news. Imagine that. I know better. I'm not fake. But that's what I'm talking about. We're letting a prostitute, for anybody that hasn't done their research on Snoops, It's ran by some multi-million-dollar guy and an escort, high-end escort. And then don't get me wrong, nothing wrong not bashing the women out there that actually do it to survive on. Because, but I'm just saying. And there was scandals and scandals all the night. If you actually look into Snoops, you'll find all the dirt you want to know, and you know that they're not credible. Can't deem anything credible because they're not credible. But like I said, I've had so much internet issues today. Trying to research anything's been a pain in the ass. Like I said, I was live streaming for 43 minutes and just got the notification I went live. Like, wow. I mean, my stream hasn't cut out or crashed. I mean, I froze up there for a little bit when I was trying to play that video. But, yeah, guys, we need to think of some new ways to deal with things. We need to start holding our media accountable. We need to stop buying into this stupid political rhetoric. Bottom line is it should be we the people for the people. And that's who they should be representing because that's who they're supposed to represent. And we should never let them try to strip anything away from the Constitution. And there's plenty of us will sit here and argue. It clearly states there's not supposed to be anything amended after a certain section of the Constitution. Nothing's to be changed. It's supposed to be a living document that's not to be changed when it comes to our freedom of speech. Second Amendment rights. I think it was, I can't remember, is it Article 13 that states that? Anything above this cannot be amended or changed. I mean, I'm all for adding things that support things like the civil rights movement, the equality for women, equality for homosexuals. Because our Constitution protects them. They are U.S. citizens. They should be treated equally as anybody else here. I'm getting tired of hearing the racism shit. And it's getting pretty bad. And you start watching live stream, it's all these people. Wake up, you're being deceived so bad. And, my comment to all that is, why am I going to feel guilty about anything? Why am I going to be ashamed about it? I'm not responsible for what my forefathers did. Not even a little bit. But then again, I don't blame my forefathers either. Because the truth is, we didn't put you on a goddamn boat and ship you over here. Your own people did. I'd rather be talking about the other forms of slavery that's going on that nobody wants to talk about. You don't hear mainstream media talking about these pedophile rings that are being busted left and right every day. These sex trafficking rings. That's a form of slavery. An ancient form. That's still going around today. But every day, people are being rounded up and locked up for it. Some of the biggest busts happen in California, PA. Oh yeah, they don't want to talk about that. Like I said, I've rambled on for a little bit too long on this subject. Even though this is a subject that should be talked about in more depth than what I covered. But guys, definitely check out the links I left. And before I get off here, so I don't forget, I'm going to add this other link to this archive site. that I actually shared with you guys. I mean, it's like I said, it's statistics. You can't prove statistics right or wrong, you know. But I can definitely call bullshit on 93 million Americans a day. I mean, you can't even justify that one. If you add up all the suicides that happen, all the drug overdose deaths, car accidents, natural cause deaths, we still wouldn't get 93 million Americans a day. I heard that and it's like, what the hell? And not a single person seems to said anything about it that I've seen yet thus far. And you guys should be steaming mad about that he's going to use an opportune time like this to promote his rhetoric. And then lie about it. To instill fear into people that, what, we're losing 93 million people a day to gun violence? Sorry, not buying your fear propaganda. Go sell it somewhere else. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid, and I wasn't born yesterday. But yeah, I'm gonna end this stream now. You guys, definitely check out the links I put in there, especially Dabu and Independent Press Project. They bring up some good points. Like I said, I would have played this stuff, but I didn't have a chance to talk to either one of them to get permission. So I'll just link it to their stuff, and you guys can follow the links. If you guys enjoyed, hit like. If you didn't, hit dislike. I don't care. If you liked, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and share. And leave your comments. I'll answer. Get a discussion, a debate on this topic. Get your opinions. Bounce ideas off each other. But I'm serious. Wow. 93 million Americans a day. I mean, I'm sorry, math don't add up. It's not funny. It's just, wow. I can't believe he had the audacity to lie. You guys have a good night.